I see. So you know how to fight. Well, today you're up against the Ting brothers.
Let's get started into the content, and then any other behind the scenes random content we can just capture. Cool.
Well, first, niggas, we gotta talk, bro. We haven't potted in 2 fucking years. Like the last time
Has it been 2 years?
It's been since what February of 2020 was the last time all of us was in my old apartment back in Flatbush.
But I was in person.
Bro.
We did one.
Person.
We did one not in person in 2021.
Yeah, we did a few after that.
Yeah.
And it was just thick of the pandemic and shit. And yeah, here we are 2 years later, season 3 of the pandemic. And yeah, man, a lot has changed. A lot has changed.
So you know what? Maybe we need to just make a commitment of doing at least one of these a month. And if we can't get everybody, like maybe we'll make some space to get like guest stars or whatever in too.
Yeah.
So like cats like like Zach or like Quentin. Like there's a lot of folks that we know, and I think that the platform is interesting in a way that it just gives so many different brothers like who work in this industry a voice that is often not heard, because Lord knows it's only about probably 113 of us.
Yeah.
It's 113 niggas across the United States who work in this shit. So I'm sure we got enough space to make room for all 113 of us.
And about 40 of y'all feuding. Oh my God. I love the pettiness of us. It works. It's so funny.
I know it's only 3 of us on this call right now, but like let's just do a quick kind of high level update of like stuff that's been going on with all of us respectively since the pandemic, since the last recording with the larger group and all that. You want to start, AD?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I've basically switched jobs probably twice now. Weird, oddly enough, one within the same company, and the other job is brand new company. I'm working on a lot of what we call in the Web 3.0 world, right? Like, NFTs, crypto. Been doing a whole bunch of projects around that. And, launched my own personal brand called Frank Brands. And yeah, man, just watching my son grow up, like that's like an ongoing project. So he's like a new project literally every week. So yeah, bro.
How old is your son now?
He's 3. He'll be 4 later this year. Yeah, it's weird. Like, 2.5 years, a lot can happen, and you just blink, and next thing you know, it's retirement. So yeah, man, that's been me in a nutshell.
Let's talk about a little bit your brand that you relaunched or that you launched.
But what y'all been up to first though? Before I get
let's stay on you. Let's stay on you. We still on you. We can come off you in a second, but I thought it'd be a good segue because you talked about your brand. I was a purchaser of one of your products recently. I always love
multiple products.
Everything. Yeah, I love to support everything you do. But yeah. I really want to talk about the sunglasses. Can you just kind of give like quick backstory on the sunglasses, the reason why, and the future of it?
Well, I mean, just to give a story behind this story, the goal was to create a holding space for my ideas and my creative endeavors. But I needed a place where I can explore things uniquely that I can control, and I just needed a better spot to hold like my ideas legally with my IP, right? So that's everything with the art and design. Coming out of that thinking, started Frank Brands LLC, which will more or less house a lot of my design projects. And when I say design projects, I'm talking about my personal design product, as well as my art, right? And this is something I can obviously pass on down to family members, specifically Garvey, right? The first, I guess, tangible product that came out of that wasn't art related was these frames that I've been sketching for like ever. Everybody knows I've been sketching frames on IG for like a long time, because obviously I wear eyewear, right? And I'm big into it, and I don't mind investing the money in it. But I decided to create an eye frame or a product, that I call the machinist. And the machinist basically is a homage to my dad, right? My dad was a master machinist. He was a journey master machinist. And basically, if you didn't know anything about a machinist, those guys basically were dudes who build machines that fix other machines, kind of like Iron Man kind of shit. So he was like my first interaction of a real Iron Man, right? So, designing these frames more or less, I just had them in sketches. This guy named Tonka Bash of Son Eyewear obviously saw what I was doing on Instagram, and we went back and forth for like 6 months perfecting the frames, right? Because I had some cool designs, but it wasn't necessarily functional yet. And he brought them into like a 3D program and cleared up a lot of the functionality of it. And we decided to just put them out and see where it goes. And then, these things are designed with sustainability in mind, right? Like they're plant-based and not fully plant-based, but they're plant-based and 3D printed, and they're made here in America. And I often been saying that the future of American manufacturing is going to be seated in 3D printing. So there it is, the machinist.
So that's dope. That's a great synopsis. I will say that, so I got my glasses maybe, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago or something like that. And every time that I've worn them in Atlanta and here in Chicago. And every time I kind of wear them out, like folks be like, yo, where you get those, big man? And I'm like, yo, my man, he makes them. And, I'll do the drop for like your IG or whatever, right? So I'll say just from my small sample size, they've been getting very good reviews.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And I know I'm not gonna make a ton of money now. It's just a great way to build the brand up, right? The brand need an origin story and a beginning origin product.
You want to give a quick drop to the website and to the IG where people can purchase these sunglasses?
Man, just go to the site, man. IG can kiss my ass because they be making motherfuckers re-engage people that they already built up. They ain't built none of my audience up. So just go to frankbrands.com. Like IG, you'll find my IG handle there, but go to my site, get that impression. Go to frankbrands.com.
Yeah, we'll put it in the notes for sure.
I love it. We'll put that on there. All right. So Tony, you wanna talk about what's been going on with you for the last 24 months?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, similar to AD. I mean, I moved this past fall for a new gig down in Richmond, VA, which is a new eye-opening moment. I think to anybody who's listening, who's born and raised where and just continue to live and work where they are, it's always good to kind of leave and kind of get a new perspective, especially if you're from New York. I feel like a lot of people are kind of blinded by the lights and the gold paved streets. But that and just been making moves career-wise just to focus on trying to figure out how to get to the next level. I mean, I feel like I hit a ceiling in New York. The pandemic hit and I was like, yo, this is the perfect opportunity, perfect time. It's kind of like slow. So it was an easy transition. It wasn't like, I had to move the next week after I took the job. Like I was able to take a couple months because everybody was working from home. And yeah, I mean, other than that, it's been good. And then also just to address something you said earlier, although it's only 3 of us, it only takes 3 Wu members to make a great song. So just gonna put that out there since we the Wu-Tang podcast.
I like
that. I like that. I mean, shit, really, it only takes 2 members. If you look at fucking Outkast.
That's true.
Outkast brothers or Ray and Ghost.
Yeah.
So, you take them 2 members out of Wu-Tang and it's like, But anyway, but yo, thanks for the update. And I'll give like just a quick update.
So what you been up to, bro?
Yeah, I'll give a quick update before we get into the content. So I'm still at the same agency gig, doing my account director thing, which is cool. It's great. I work at a spot that, definitely supports me. And, my clients are cool. It's not like I definitely don't hate my job, anything like that, which is great, right? Working from home has also made everything for me personally a little bit better because, I just realized now how much that commute took out of me, bro. Like being able to go to a 9 o'clock meeting, like I literally can get out my bed at 8:40, hop in the shower for 4 minutes, throw some shit on real quick, and then I'm at the computer and I'm ready to go. And I'm doing this all from the comfort of my home. And that has changed so much, right? So I think that, this future of work is definitely going to change. Especially like about folks who are like when they're at a mid to senior level. Don't nobody want to go into the office, bro. Like it's crazy to think that like people are happy going into the office. But anyway, with all that being said and done, also, I've had the opportunity to work on a lot of side projects for myself. So you all know that I'm like big into real estate, and I've been doing multiple renovations and buying and selling properties over the last couple of years. So that is still going, and my portfolio is looking good, and thank God for it, right? So ultimately, that's going to be part of my retirement plan. And then something too that I started, this probably actually launched, the initial idea of it started like at the very beginning of the pandemic, late 2019, early 2020, this equity crowdfunding platform that I'm a part of. So I'm not sure how familiar you all are with equity crowdfunding, but basically President Obama, he signed this Jobs Act a couple years ago, right before he was out of office. And in that Jobs Act, the equity crowdfunding way of investing was kind of born. So me and about 25 of my friends, we created this platform called Seat at the Table. You can check it out, www.seatathetable.com. And essentially what it is it's a platform for Black and brown entrepreneurs to be able to host their businesses and companies on the site, and to be able to garner investment from people who are their customers and people who are not. So that's been a project that we've been working on for the last 7 months or so. And it's been good. It's been a lot of learning experiences from it. It's been a lot of hard work, but it's been dope.
Oh, I like the fact that you guys started, this whole platform to just help Black, brown entrepreneurs, more or less find a seed money, because that's always been like the biggest pain point for most, Black businesses. You have the idea, but you just don't have the money, right? Like, there's a reality of it. Is,
or you might you might have the money to start, but when you think about scaling a business up, like scaling and growing a business, like that takes money, and you can't make money without money.
And the real thing about starting a business, the ideal is not always your own money to start a business, right? Because let's be real, your own money is your money, and it's cool to do that, but it's always great to do it with an investor, and they can obviously reap their benefits in terms of how to get the money back. But it's always good to have somebody who can just believe in you and just help you to start your business. Like, I don't even look at none of the people who buy things from me as a consumer. I see them as investors. Like, if you buy anything from me, I look at you more as an investor as opposed to a consumer or a customer,
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. That's been taking up a lot of my free time, and we'll just see where it goes. But let's get into the conversation, to the topics for the day. We went through high level update from everybody. I sent this to you all in our group chat. I thought it was pretty funny and interesting, but there's a brother who is down in Louisiana, this brother by the name of Gary Chambers Jr., and he has the Senate campaign that's going on. And I sent this to you all, I think maybe last week or so. I thought it would be like good to kind of talk about this brother, because his approach to winning this race is very different and very unconventional, and the way he's using social media is interesting. So just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that. My favorite clip that post that he's done, has gotten a lot of
the guy smoking a weed.
This is the brother who's on the lawn chair, and he's smoking a blunt, and he's talking a little bit of shit. And I loved it because, one, I thought that, it was so authentically Black. And you know how I am, AD. I love anything that is 100% Black. And he leaned into it. Like, he was like, yo, I like to get high. Like, it ain't that big of a deal. I ain't hurting nobody. And I'm trying to be the motherfucking senator.
Hey, look, I'm gonna be just keeping a buck with you, right? And I don't take sides with any political party for the most. I just look at things purely from impact and like the overall idea, right? He is basically able to do that type of campaigning because we're in a post-Trump campaign world, right? The one thing you can love or hate Trump, whatever. That's all perspective and relative. But if you just take your analytical mind and you look at what Trump has done with politics, he's flipped the shit on his head. He's one of the few politicians or people who was not a politician, became a politician using his voice, his platform, and just didn't give a fuck. So post-Trump, you literally got everybody approaching politics as yourself, almost like bringing your social media self to politics. And you look at a guy like that.
Sorry, my
So
bad.
what?
No, I was saying he opened the troll door. He opened the troll door. I feel like
not even beyond the troll door, man. It's like politicians have always been very PC, regardless of their party, right? Whether
That's
they're
true,
Republican, independent, or Democrat, it doesn't even matter. Third party, or Green Party in New York, whatever. Most politicians, for the most, follow a formula. You have to be able to speak a certain way, have a certain kind of pedigree or track to be whatever, right? I mean, shit, if your ass had like a college degree from like a community college, no way you could be a politician, right? This motherfucker was a casino owner. Yeah, he went to college, but he was a jive ass salesman, right? He was just a bullshitter. And he became the highest office in America, which is president, right? And he kind of tarnished it a little bit. So you take that
now is you think now because of that and post-Trump, now you think that anybody who's running for office can be more authentically themselves. Is that what you're saying?
100%, especially because you can talk directly to your audience. You don't have to speak to large group of people. You can speak directly to your audience. You can be authentic self. And I think more people that resonate more with people. Trump don't need nobody on this call to actually vote for him, right? He can just talk directly to a large group of people, a smaller group of people, and get the same results.
You know what's funny? So I think I told you all this. Like I saw that brother smoking that blunt, sitting on that lawn chair, and I don't even live in Louisiana. I have nothing to do with that state whatsoever, right? But I sent that brother $100.
See, he spoke directly to you.
He did. Right? He spoke to something, and also too, I don't get high, but what you said, he was so authentically himself that it did something to me, and it resonated to me. Where I was like, I'm gonna help this brother out,
right?
And that's
the funny thing about it, he could have been smoking just a regular ass tobacco, but the perception that he was smoking a blunt, and he told you that he liked smoking weed, it resonates, man. It just gets straight to the point.
What do you think, Tony?
At first, when I first saw it, I thought he was just trying to be like out there, outlandish, just to be outlandish. But then, like, honestly, I watched it, looked at a couple articles, and like I do agree with what AD said. I think that I do appreciate, his authenticity and saying like, hey, like, let's decriminalize this. Everybody does this. Let's remove, the veil of taboo that people pretend to have, even though like, a lot of white people smoke and nothing happens to them, Black person smoke, and a lot of them are still in jail. But like, I think I like his approach. I do wonder, I guess my only worry would be like, because his first approach to like running for Senate was so like a little bit like out there in terms of like smoking a blunt is like.
Well, no, that wasn't his first approach though.
Oh, that wasn't? Well, that was the first time I heard of him.
He's got content before that. Like, that may have been your first introduction to him, which I think is okay. Because like, again, it's about awareness, right? And I just think about from like an advertising perspective, like awareness is key with anything. Like, what's that old saying? Like there's no such thing as bad PR. So it's like the fact that we're even talking about this, and you a brother who's in Virginia, you got another brother who's in Atlanta, or I'm sorry, in Georgia, and then I'm in Chicago, and I put some money on this brother, and I'm following him, and
I might do it tomorrow. Just because
you might put the money on his books tomorrow.
That's it, bro. That's it.
So
that's where we live in.
There's an interesting power that's in that, and I hope the brother wins because like I'm just like Issa. I'm rooting for all the Black folks.
Yeah. Well, if you take that right, 10 years ago he wouldn't be able to do this without social media, right?
5 years ago.
True. Even with social media, he wouldn't be able to do this. Our whole take on cannabis, marijuana, weed, what do you want to call it, is we're more relaxed with the shit, and it's just the era we live in.
So I guess
they'd lock that motherfucker up back.
I guess my question is like, again, it wasn't his first video, I guess it was his first video that went viral, but do you think, or do you think because of the shock, well, to me, I call it shock value, because of the shock value and the viralness of the first video, do you think he needs to keep up with that in order to kind of continue to garner support? Because like you said, he had stuff before and maybe he wasn't on your radar, maybe you never heard of him. But it was the video of him smoking that made you say like, hey, like, maybe it wasn't smoking. Maybe you just felt like he was real about what he was saying.
So let me answer that. So I will say, at least for me, in my perspective, I don't know how I found that video, but I found it, right? I found it, I saw it, I liked it. I followed him after that. And like I said, I gave the brother some money. So multiple things happened in my engagement and experience with him, right? Does he need to keep that up? I don't know if he needs to. I don't think he should. And I also think that, oftentimes, like Black folks, we're not allowed to really be full human beings, right? Especially Black men. And I think that it's like, okay, you can like smoking weed. That's okay. You can like, planting tulips in your motherfucking garden. You can like going shooting. You can like I feel like we shouldn't try to box people into a certain lane. And I think oftentimes we do that, especially with like Black people, and more often than with Black men, right? You all know me, I'm into a bunch of shit. Like, I hate being boxed into anything, right? Damn. And I don't think, and I never want to box another brother into anything either. So I think it's unfair for us or anybody to try to put somebody into like this this construct. Or like I remember Kanye used to say, and I think he probably used the word wrong, but maybe not. But he used to be like, yo, this person needs to wear this certain patina, and that makes them okay or acceptable.
Right. That was the word he used.
He used patina. I don't know if that means what that means, but whatever he was saying, I get the general idea, right? So like I said, again, I'm following this motherfucker. I sent the nigga some money. I hope he win. The little bit of extra shit that I've seen with him on social and on YouTube too, because I did a little bit more research around him. I like it. Is he good? I don't know. Is he better than the Kennedy cat that's running or whatever?
Yeah, it's a Republican cat, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I thought it was a good conversation, a topic for conversation.
Oh no, I agree. I think if you look at AOC and how she won, I think he has a good chance, because I think the person who currently just owns the seat is some, like, no disrespect, just some white male Republican who everyone has kind of dealt with. And I think the one good thing to just jump on what AD was saying is, like, the one thing Trump opened up is, like, I think people want change. I think people want something different. And just to wrap it up, I agree. I think authenticity stands out, and I think he has a shot.
Trump said, grab him by the PU, and he became president.
When he said grab him by the pussy, when he said grab him by the pussy, I was like, oh, he's finna lose. But then
I thought he was done.
I was like, oh, we can say grab by the pussy now. I was like, wow, that's deep.
Wow. Right.
So
I would never even imagine George Bush saying that shit.
No, that would have never happened. I think to your point, AD, I think that we are definitely in the midst of a paradigm shift. So yeah, I 100% agree with that. So thinking about paradigm shifts and all of that, as we all know, it's February, it's Black History Month, Black History Month, it is what it is. In the last 2 years since our last podcast during Black History Month, a lot of stuff has changed, right?
Right.
We've had the whole George Floyd thing along with COVID. Just a lot of shit has happened as it pertains to race, Black folks, all that. I mean, shit, you even look at what happened this past week with the brother from Miami who got fired from the NFL Miami Dolphins. Now he's suing the league, saying that they asked him to tank games. So I say all that to say is, like, what do you all think now? We in Black History Month now. There's some Black History Month stuff going on. Do you think it's still relevant? How do you think brands should engage with it, or should they not engage with it? Do people even care? Give me your high level thoughts.
I mean, to quote the late great Whitney Houston, we need a longer month.
Why do we need a longer month?
Nah, it's just a joke from the video. But
okay. I'm like, what the fuck? What?
Nah, I'll send you the video later. It's just funny when she said it. But I mean,
Whitney was smoking crack, bro.
I mean, I think there was
everything
that
a crackhead does. 90% of it, the shit is funny. We all know
that is true.
And it kind of sounded prolific at the time. You think of it, you're like,
it sounds very prolific.
Speaking of crackheads, man, this is kind of off subject, but remember back in the day when you could get a crackhead or a clucker that'll do anything?
Oh yeah.
When you'll be like, it'll be motherfucking 10 degrees below in a snowstorm, and you'll be like, yo, I need my car washed. That motherfucker go out there with a bucket. And wash the whole car in a snowstorm. And you'd be like, nigga, it ain't gonna never get clean.
Watch your car in a parking spot. Atlanta.
Shit.
But yeah, I mean, since I jumped in, I'll just say I think not to jump on the Kanye wave because you mentioned him before, but I do like a stand he mentioned and something he posted recently about Black Futurist Month. I think it's important to focus on our history and to do our due diligence to teach our kids what happened. But I think it's also a good way to look into the future and look at what we're trying to do and how we're trying to move forward. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to quote anything else from Kanye. And I think when it comes to brands, I think they need to do a better job of collaborating with Black people, not even just people of color, just Black people, because I forgot to send it, but there was this like Bed Bath & Beyond did a in store setup, and all they had was dashiki shit with Black brands, and it's like, fam, like who the fuck did you consult? Ain't no, I swear ain't no Black person sign off on that. So
I mean, if you like 65 and above, you may get a dashiki, but I don't know no Black people out here buying goddamn dashikis.
Nah, not at Bed Bath. Come on, son.
So, okay, let's tell you about that.
They had their candles were imprinted with the dashiki print. That's what it was, right?
The kente.
Well, that, but they also had a like a whole like setup of like I think it was Black brands, and like the whole like in-store setup had like the dashiki print on it and all that stuff. I saw it somewhere. I gotta find it, but
so I don't know the full backstory with that. But my question is, like, did those Black brands that they partnered with, did they get a check? Because that's paramount to me. Like if they collaborated with Black brands or candle makers or whatever, if brothers and sisters got a check, I'm a little bit more comfortable with them in their participation. Because I look at a lot of brands, you look at a lot of big brands, they'll be like, oh, celebrate Black History Month, blah, blah, blah. They'll do an IG post. They might do like even a bullshit campaign or whatever, right? But are they giving brothers a check? And that's what we need. We need a check.
I've seen people who participate with like brands, and especially in retail, that are Black makers do get a check. Sometimes the check is not enough. And I just think a lot of times it has to be something that goes beyond just Black History Month. Like the idea that you as a Black maker, whatever you're making, you should be on some type of procurement list of any such as brand that was going to use your services throughout the year, right? So I think for me, I would like to see more and more Black people get through procurement of any brand, more so than just being highlighted in an end cap, right? Because at the end of that, that's marketing, right? But if you're a person who has a box company, a counter company, hell, if you sell tissue, I know there's a brother who sell straight up and down like natural tissue. It would be great to see his stuff on an end cap throughout the year, right? And I highlighted it on Black History, but support this brother as many stores he can get in throughout the year, right? That's number one. But I think the other aspect of brands and Black history, a lot of times, and I can say this because I'm working on some stuff for Black history now, and I feel like they are waiting too late to actually do anything for Black history. Like when you start hitting up talent to do any kind of Black history marketing 2 weeks before Black history, you're kind of behind the gun, right? And they're rushing.
It's an afterthought.
It is an afterthought. So I just think, brands, if they want to be authentic, they need to start thinking about Black history kind of a year, if not 6 months ahead of Black history. That's what I noticed.
I'll agree with that. I mean, I think from my perspective, working on agency side for almost 17 years now. God damn. I think that, to your point, Black History Month is kind of like let's do something. And at the biggest lead time I think I've ever seen is like last week of December.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the biggest. But generally, to your point, it's usually like something like, oh, let's get some influencers to do A, B, and C. And like we started talking about that January 15th. Or we'll be like, oh, let's do an IG post saying blah, blah, blah. Let's do one on King's birthday, and then let's do 2 during Black History Month, and we out.
But they love King, don't they? They love doing shit.
They love King, but King has actually transcended into like this mythical figure that nobody really thinks about, like the shit he was really saying, right?
Yeah, he was highly unpopular when he would die, right?
Right, just like Muhammad Ali. Like Muhammad Ali, they ran him through the coals and treated him like shit. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, oh, Ali, like, blah, 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 right? Because you could talk about this guy in this reverence now because he has no voice. He doesn't exist anymore. And he's basically almost like not a fabrication, but like a shell of what he was when he was, right?
Right.
Just like the same thing is going to happen with Kaepernick, right? 25
years
from now, 30 years from now, Kaepernick is going to be like, oh, he was so revolutionary. He was this, that, and the third, right? But right now, they like, fuck that nigga.
Yeah. And King going to be white. I mean, he's going to be a white guy, right?
Or light skin, at least.
Or at least like Kaepernick light skin. That's right.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
We having fun. We having fun.
Let's not do that.
We can talk shit like that. We in the culture.
I visited the King House in Atlanta. I see.
Let's have a little fun.